afraid of the dark, are you?
So what if I am?
Welcome back to our tens of fans. Join me tonight. In the back we have Jenny. And riding shotgun, Keith, aka Riddick 2.
I'm not excited about this movie at all.
No, I can clearly tell by your eyes.
Yes,
through the goggles.
My Fast and Furion eyes.
Fast and Furion.
Fast and Furion eyes. Say that 10 times quick.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, this is the third in the Chronicles of Riddick series, which began with Pitch Black, then Chronicles of Riddick, and now just plain Riddick. Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how this turns out, even though by the trailers it really looks like it's pretty much a revamp of what happened in the first one. He's trapped on this dark planet with a lot of creepy crawlies trying to kill him and everyone around him, and he's probably going to be the only one that survives.
No sweat.
I'm just wondering how this is going to play out, simply because when we last saw Riddick...
Last time on Riddick...
Necromongers.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
Furians. Defiant to the end.
And I'll take your soul. Your soul is mine.
Damn it, Jam, I'm a doctor, not a hairstylist. Cue impossible physics!
In our faith, you keep what you kill.
Cue more impossible physics! Physics be damned.
You keep what you kill.
End scene.
Sweet! Got an empire. But yeah, he goes back to being apparently a criminal, being hunted by bounty hunters, and I'm like, I thought this was a sequel.
He's definitely got a gambling problem. I mean, how else do you lose an entire, nation of people? Whoops!
Well, worlds. These guys conquered worlds.
I left the oven on.
Oops.
Destroyed an entire universe.
You keep what you destroy.
You keep what you destroy. You do. You keep it in your heart.
That doesn't apply to Superman.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Property damage. Whew.
Well, if Superman keeps what he destroys, he owns the city, and he just owns pretty much everything. Mine. Psst. Laser vision. That's what Riddick needs, laser vision. He's got the funky eyes. So close to laser vision.
Except without actually hurting people.
Yeah, that's
In fact,
true.
they actually hurt him since
Yeah.
he's in the daylight.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's called cataracts.
Cataracts. Oh, that's great. No wonder he needs those glasses. They're prescription.
After refreshing my memory on Pitch Black and the Chronicles of Riddick, is that
Yes.
what the second one's called? Okay.
Yes, it's ridiculous. Riddick.
I'm kind of curious to see what this third one is about, because the first one has nothing to do with the second one, and then it sounds like the third one has nothing to do with the second one. So I hope it's not like a Star Wars type of thing where they start a movie off and the next one it's the first one that comes before that one, and then the third one's like, oh no, that's the one that comes after the second and fourth one that still hasn't come out yet. So I'm curious to see what this one is about, but I'm hoping it's just as good as the first and the second.
I'm curious to see what order you are watching the Star Wars movies in.
They started off at 4 and then they went 5 and 6, and then they start you off at, oh, we forgot 1, 2, and 3, so let's bring you back to 1, 2, and 3.
Little Star Wars history or trivia for you. He had actually pitched all 9 Star Wars episodes to the company, and the only ones they liked were 4, 5, and 6. They were like, we'll give you money for A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, and nothing else. And then later on, he's like, hey, I'm still making buku bunches just by throwing more Star Wars crap out there. I'm going to make 1, 2, and 3. Booyah, movie producers of 1977.
And then own my own ranch.
He does. True story.
A true story. He owns a ranch.
Well, Riddick is back. I mean,
Technically, yes.
it is what it is.
It's the first movie, but with less scary creatures. But with more, like, animal stuff.
He has a dog.
Yeah. It's like...
Poor Jimmy Dingle.
It's like Marley and Me. But with Riddick.
And 0% Owen Wilson.
Yeah, well, you know, the dog probably has like 50% Owen Wilson.
No. I was not the least bit annoyed with the dog.
Oh, God. But yeah, it was so-so. I mean, the animals, I think, could have been much scarier. I mean, the first ones were like, whoa, you know, like, hey, you're taking somebody's head off with one bite. You know, you're flying around, like, grabbing people out of nowhere. These were kind of like, ooh, we got venom. We're gonna get ya. We're gonna bite ya.
And what is it with Riddick and fighting 2-legged, no-armed creatures?
Yeah.
That's kind of his forte.
Maybe it's his
They have
destiny.
arms. They're kind of,
No,
they're kind of
no,
like
these-
T-Rex.
These didn't. I didn't see any arms on them.
They had, like...
They had the
Yeah,
back
just
legs
the
and the
back
big
feet.
big
No,
tail.
They had to have arms to be able to move around like that. They're kind of like T-Rex arms. They're tiny.
No, I don't think
Yeah, 'cause
so.
that's how they had to climb.
Oh, true. I didn't think about the climbing.
They couldn't have
climbing.
climbed if they didn't have arms.
They could be like mountain goats, jumping from hill to hill.
I don't know. Either way, evolution keeps dealing weird cards to the things that Riddick fights.
Just when you think it might be a griffin or something great, it's some weird version of something. It's like a dragon snake or
Yeah.
a lizard turtle.
A hammerhead bat.
Hammerhead bats. Oh, God.
I like how they just kind of like glanced over the events of the last movie. Like, you know,
Yeah,
it was like, yeah, it's
He had
another.
his own army, but it's not a real big deal.
But now it's gone, and yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to me like they just wanted to make another Riddick movie, and they were like, well, what can we do? What can we do? What worked with the first Riddick movie? Scary monsters, it's night out, a lot of people die.
And then the fact checker came along and was like, "Excuse me, sir. What about the army he possesses?"
What army?
What army? You
take
keep
5
what you
seconds.
kill.
Let's take
Goodbye.
5 seconds to explain what happened.
Yeah. So this guy got him in a dust ball planet. He couldn't send anybody else. No ambassadors. No nothing. He just had to go and see it for himself. Some guy just takes him out, and that's it. Goodbye, everything that you just had. I mean, why not, you know, have them crash their ship into a planet if you hate them so much, you know? I order you, die! It seemed like a logical choice. Oh, and I got a question for you, Mr. Riddick. How do you stop this from happening? Oh, yeah, that's the ugly truth of wearing goggles. Marks on your face.
It's Vin Diesel.
It must be the Furion in him.
Yeah.
Has to be.
It has to be, right? What else could it be?
But yeah, overall, it's meh. It's okay.
Yeah.
I would be lying if I said I expected more,
Yeah.
because I wasn't. Therefore, I'd be lying.
Therefore, lies.
I mean, it was okay. It was okay. I wasn't, like, disappointed because I didn't have any expectations. So, yeah.
I expected he was going to be a, like, crazy, planetary, mad genius guy that started taking over everything and killing people and stuff. Instead of, like, I mean, he was like God of War in the beginning. That was pretty cool. He was doing the whole God of War thing, like, give me ladies or give me death.
I mean, it's really... It's back to basics with Riddick. That's pretty much what this movie was.
Yeah. I mean, usually it's good when they go back to basics, but...
If you're totally rehashing the first movie,
I mean, like,
2 movies back after you've taken the character so far... Not saying he's a very deep character, but just putting him in a totally different place from movie 1 to movie 2, and then kicking him back to...
They didn't even give the guy a teacup.
What's that? I'll kill you with my teacup.
I mean, come on. They should have given him, like, something. I mean, the kills were cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what you're getting the movie for.
I actually think this movie made him look like a badass. I mean, I'm going to agree with Justin. I didn't have any expectations on this one. But for me, this kind of was the best out of the 3, kind of. Sort of.
How so?
I don't know, he grew as a character on me, as opposed to the first one. You didn't know much about his history, just, you know, they first introduced him as a murderer and all that stuff, but to me, in this one, he kind of grows as a character. And in the beginning, you see him grow too, like, skill-wise and stuff. I feel there's a sad part in the movie for us animal lovers. Poor Dilly Dingo. And, I don't know, out of the 3, I think this is my favorite one.
But, yeah, it's another Riddick movie. Well, after a 9-year hiatus, Vin Diesel is back playing everybody's favorite anti-hero, Riddick. When we last left him, he was the head of a galaxy-spanning army after killing their leader.
You keep what you kill.
So, what does he do with all of this great power? Not a lot. He's betrayed by his necromonger followers. Something to be said about backstabbing in this series. It's kind of a staple. And left to die on a random planet where he is forced to fight some nightmarish creatures. Another staple of the series, apparently. And recapture the inherent animal-like savagery and cunning that has made Riddick so infamous throughout the galaxy. He decides he wants to leave, however, and lures a group of mercenaries to the planet in hopes of acquiring a ride home. And of course, by acquiring, I mean killing everybody and taking their ship. Of course, things don't go as expected, and the creepy crawlies mentioned earlier show up for the human-sized buffet. So if you're saying to yourself, gee, this sounds an awful lot like the plot to Pitch Black, you're exactly right. Now, I'm not saying that's totally a bad thing. There's some cool stuff at play, and the characters, for the most part, are pretty interesting. Okay, if you consider cardboard cutouts interesting. Yeah, the film is very predictable with only 1 or 2 surprises. Really, the only appeal is Riddick is back and he's doing Riddick-like things. Now, I will say this for the film, it does portray Riddick in a somewhat different light than we're used to. He's actually seen as, well, human. Basically, the guy screwed up. He let his guard down and his own arrogance get the best of him. He was one of the most powerful men in the galaxy. Now he's back at square one. He's vulnerable. Now he has to get back up, dust himself off, and rediscover himself in order to survive. If you're a big fan of the Riddick movies and you just want to see Vin Diesel doing his thing as Riddick again, you probably won't be disappointed. Me personally, after a 9-year hiatus, I just kind of hoped for something a little bit more from a 3rd installment. I give Riddick 3 machete kicks out of 5. Okay, I can't let that go unreferenced.
Machete.
No need to be afraid of the dark, folks, because Riddick is back. This is Justin with On The Road Reviews, and we'll see you in the movie line.
Whatever happens, you go in the first 5 seconds.
What's out there
Let's cut him loose.